At Monument Island in the East China Sea, there were winter-resistant flowers with 5 colors that bloomed throughout the year. The island had been uninhabited since ancient times, and it was off the beaten track. One day, a man of Dengzhou, surnamed Zhang, who was full of curiosity and fond of exploring and hunting, hearing of the beauties of the island, put together some drinks and food, and rowed himself across in a small open boat. When he arrived, the flowers were flourishing, and their fragrance was diffused and can be smelled for miles or so around, while many of the trees he saw were several armfuls in circumference. So he roamed about and gave himself up to the enjoyment of the scene. He opened a flask of wine and drank alone, regretting very much that he had no companion to share it with him. Suddenly, a radiant and unparalleled beauty in a fascinating red dress stepped down from the flowers. Seeing Mr. Zhang drinking alone, she laughed and said, "I think I'm in high spirits, but I didn't expect there would be someone else who is also in high spirits and take the lead to come here." Mr. Zhang was surprised and asked who she was, and the woman replied, "I am a harlot from Jiaodong. I just come with Prince Hai. He has gone off in search of scenic spots and wandered elsewhere. Walking is too hard for me, so I stay here and wait for him." Mr. Zhang was just suffering from loneliness, and he was very happy to have a beautiful lady as his company. He greeted her to sit down and have a drink together. The way the woman spoke was very gentle and heartwarming. Mr. Zhang liked her so much and was afraid that if Prince Hai came back, they would not be able to enjoy the moment, so he hugged her and tried to make out, and the woman catered to him happily. The two were making out when suddenly heard a gust of wind blowing, and the trees and plants bent beneath it and made a noise. The woman pushed Mr. Zhang away in a hurry, got up and cried, "Here is Prince Hai." Mr. Zhang hurriedly put on his clothes and fastened his belt, and he looked around in fear and found out the woman had disappeared. Immediately he beheld a big serpent, thicker than a huge bamboo, scurrying out of the bushes. Mr. Zhang was horrified and hurriedly hid behind a large tree for shelter, hoping that the reptile would not see him. But the serpent advanced and enveloped both Mr. Zhang and the tree in its great folds, binding Mr. Zhang's arms straight down to his crotch so he can't flex them at all, and then raising its head, darted out its tongue and pierced the poor man's nose, causing the blood to flow freely out down to the ground and formed a small puddle, and the serpent bowed its head to drink the blood. Mr. Zhang, who thought that his last hour had come, suddenly remembered that he had some fox poison in his purse tied around his waist, and managing to insert a couple of fingers, he drew out the poison, broke it and piled it in the palm of his hand. He next turned his head to look down at his palm, and let his blood drip onto the poison, and a handful of blood dripped in a blink of an eye. Then the serpent actually did suck the blood from his palm, and before it finished drinking, it suddenly stretched up and swayed its tail violently, making a thunderclap-like sound, and the trees it hit were swept away in half. After a while, it fell to the ground like a roof beam and died. Mr. Zhang fell to the ground and was too dizzy to rise. At length, he woke up and carried the serpent off with him to go home. He was very ill for more than a month afterwards, and even suspected that the woman was also a basilisk in disguise. This is the end of the story. Do you like it? People are always curious and afraid of things they don't understand. Do you think Mr. Zhang will change from his former debauchery or continue his thrill-seeking life until the next adventure might take him away forever? What happened in this story is just like a badger game in modern times. The badger game is an extortion scheme in which the victims are tricked into a compromising position to make them vulnerable to blackmail. A wise man should avoid getting involved in this kind of game. If you like Asian classical stories or want to know more about Asian culture, please don't forget to subscribe for more new stories.